Hi, it's Keidra, and today I decided to do a video on, I guess like a pregnancy video. And in my last video, I asked if you guys wanted me to keep these lifestyle videos on my channel or create a separate channel for like lifestyle stuff. But I'm just gonna go ahead and just keep everything on this channel for now, and we'll see how it goes. How about that? So I know I do beauty videos as well, but if you're not interested in the lifestyle and you only want the beauty, then you just have to skip over when you see it in your news feed. But hopefully it won't be like too excessive in your news feeds to where you want to unsubscribe to me. But nevertheless, so today's video is going to be on my story of how I found out I was pregnant and also like my history with PCOS. So, God, where did I start? So I was diagnosed with PCOS when I was 16 years old, and that started because the first sign I had that I had PCOS was excessive hair growth. I've always had like a normal period pretty much up until this past year. It just turned 2016. So 2015, all the way up until 2015, I was 22. Right? And I was 22. So up until then, almost pretty much almost up until like very recently, I've always had a normal period. So there was never really an indication for me. I never had really painful periods, like super intense cramps or anything like that. It's always been like pretty normal. The only thing that really stood out to me was that I was having like excessive hair growth. And I would show it in this video, but I kind of think it's a little like I don't think people will react well to like that growth of hair that I have in certain places. Like it's not what is the word I'm looking for? Like it's not aesthetically visually pleasing to the eye. Like nobody wants to see her. And since being pregnant, I've even started to like, I don't know how well it would pick up on camera, but I've noticed like a few strands of hair on my shoulder. You can kind of see there, like it's starting to get like, it's just getting really, really out of control now that I'm pregnant, which is crazy. But anyways, the first indicator that I had PCOS was excessive hair growth. I got diagnosed with that when I was 16. When I was 16, my regular pediatrician referred me to an endocrinologist, and at that point, she just took some blood samples. Yeah, blood samples, and my testosterone levels were higher than where they should be. Not so high to the point where I was actually a man instead of a woman, but higher than it should have been for a woman, which was causing the excess hair growth. And, well, so yeah, so that's what she used to conduct her results, I guess. And at the time, she gave me birth control and metformin, and I started taking it, but the metformin, like, it really upset my stomach a lot. I didn't like taking it, and the birth control, I didn't have a problem with taking it. I wasn't uh doing anything for me to end up pregnant at that time, but you know, I also didn't have a problem taking the birth control. So I did that for a while, and after a while I just kind of slowly waned off of it. I was just kind of like, yeah, especially the metformin, like it just upset my stomach so bad, like it was like I had diarrhea, like yeah. But so there was that, and then eventually I stopped taking. Probably like I would say like about a year later, I just kind of quit doing anything, like stopped taking stuff. I wasn't really interested in finding any type of cure or fixes or anything like that. And alongside the birth control and the metformin, she also gave me told me to like fix my diet, so like watch the carbs, different stuff like that, because with PCOS, the way your body breaks down certain foods is almost in the way that a diabetic body would break down the food. Like it doesn't completely break down the sugar and carbs and breads and pastas and stuff like that. And if you see me kind of, my eyes just kind of gazing off, it's because this was like a really long time ago for me. So I'm kind of having to like rethink this. And I didn't really plan out everything I wanted to say in this video. I just kind of like, it's my life, I should know it, right? So I just go right into filming. But I have to try to remember some of this stuff. So basically, that's what I was diagnosed with when I was 16. Those were the treatments that she offered to me. I took them for a while. Within a year, I was probably like done with it. And I mean, I was a teenager trying to live my life. I was not worried about that. I was not trying to be tied down to no medication, like, you know, whatever. So eventually I got into like a long-term relationship with my ex. Me and him was together for like 3 years. And we moved in together. We were talking about marriage, and he bought me a ring. So we kind of had like this little engagement and all that. So he and I, of course, we were sexually active, and throughout the time that he and I was together, like, I never got pregnant. We talked about it, and like, after the point of us moving in together and him giving me a ring, we was just kind of like, okay, you know, we're gonna start having unprotected sex. I wasn't using any form of birth control, and that was that. But again, we were together for 3 years. I never got pregnant, not once. And whenever I thought that I might be, or my period was a little late or something like that, I never turned out to be pregnant. I probably took like 3 pregnancy tests, at least 3 pregnancy tests while me and him were together. So I never got pregnant, never got a positive pregnancy test. So at that point, I was just kind of like, okay, well, it's me, because I have PCOS. So I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm really like literally never going to be able to have kids. I'm not going to be able to have kids. If I do, it'll probably have to be through like in vitro or something like that. And of course, we weren't ready for that yet. We're just trying it the natural way, and it just never happened. So I figured like I can't have kids. And well, so it was pretty much it. It was just like, well, I mean, we never stopped trying. Like, how do I say, like, we didn't stop trying, but it kind of got to the point where it was like, we weren't, like, as hopeful that it would happen. Like, it was just kind of like, you know, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But we were still enjoying it, right? For the time being. So, yeah, so 3 years, I never got pregnant. And I just kind of gave up on it. I figured, like, it's me, I have PCOS. If I get pregnant, it'll probably be, like, some type of miracle. I have to do some type of expensive fertility treatment because, like, nothing is working. So, I just kind of gave up on it, and I just figured, like, no, I'm not having kids. So, and again, my period was normal pretty much the whole time we were together. 2015, last year, like last fall, so it was pretty recent for me. I experienced like my first like irregular cycle. Like, I didn't get a period until last year, 2015. My period was normal. The last period I got in 2015 was in July, and I did not get another period until like December. After the 3rd month, I didn't get a period in August, and then I didn't get a period in September. And so once I reached the 3rd month in October and I did not get a period, I was like, okay, let me call my doctor, because I already know that I have PCOS. So it's pretty predictable for me not to get a period. But like I said, I've always had a regular period, even though I do have PCOS. And I was also having like pain on my left side, like lower left side. It was almost kind of like a sharp period pain, but I wasn't getting my period. And so after the third month, I made an appointment with my doctor, but I didn't get in to see her until like November. So I went to the doctor. I had a cyst, and she ended up giving me some medication for that. So once the cyst passed, I ended up like, it was kind of like a little baby period after that with the cyst passing. And then I had like my regular period, I guess you would say, in December. So I had like my first normal period again in December. And she also gave me, while I was there, she gave me some more birth control pills, and the kind I were taking for PCOS was the microgestin 120. And she gave me some more metformins, 500 milligrams. And that was it. So that was that. So by December, my period was back. So after that, I had a pretty normal period. December, January, February, March, and March. After March, I did not have a regular period. Now, I was taking the birth control, but I stopped taking my birth control pills in probably like at the end of, I would probably say in the middle to the end, mid to the end of February. I stopped taking my birth control pills because I noticed that the birth control pills that I was taking also, like, I read reviews on them. Let me say. So the birth control pills that I was taking, before when I took the pills, I never had a problem with them. But at that particular time with me taking the microgestin birth control pills, I was getting a lot of headaches. I felt kind of depressed. It was like really affecting my mood. I didn't like how I was feeling taking those. So I read some reviews online, and a lot of other women felt the same way. So I was just thinking like, okay, these are not good. Like, let me just stop taking these. And so I did. I stopped taking the birth control. And as far as the metformin, I think I started there like once. I started taking it like once a day with my meal. Then I worked my way up to like 2 times a day with the meal. And then I think I eventually made it to the metformin where I was taking it like 3 times a day with like all 3 meals. I think it was either 2 or 3 times a day. Like, I was taking it pretty regularly with my meals. And I loved that the metformin was working. Like, it calmed my appetite. My weight was being monitored pretty well. Not monitored. It managed my weight really well. It calmed my appetite. And I feel like it kind of regulated my bowel movements as well. So going to the bathroom. So I was happy with the metformin. Didn't like the birth control pills. And I talked to my current boyfriend about like the birth control pills that I was taking then, and I was telling him, I was like, I don't really like these. Actually, I've told him like pretty, I wouldn't say pretty early, but probably like the halfway point in our relationship, like half a year, so probably like 6 months of us being together. Like, I was telling him, of course I talked about like my ex, because after me and my ex broke up, I moved back home. So, I'm like 22 living at home. So, of course, there was like something to talk about. But about like me having PCOS and not really being able to conceive. And I just feel like it was something that I should tell him up front, because people can choose whether they want to be with somebody, they can have kids or not. Like, I mean, we were just dating, so, like, I mean, So if he decided that, like, me not being able to have kids was a no, like, was, like, a deal breaker for him, then he had that choice. And he wasn't, like, sucked into, like, years of a relationship and then had to find out. Like, I just let him know up front. Like, I was pretty upfront with it. And so I told him I had PCOS, and it was really hard to like get pregnant. Not that we were planning on getting pregnant at that time, But just for, like I said, future references, if we ever decided that this was a good relationship and we want to be together forever, or if we did want to get married, or we did want to start a family, like I feel like, you know, it was the right thing to do to let him know what the possibility of the future holds. So, you know, I told him like it wasn't impossible for me to get pregnant, but it was very hard. And like for the past 3 years that I was with my ex, like we tried and it never happened. Um, so you know, he didn't care, to be honest. Let's just say it like that. It didn't bother him. And